I'm actually on duty right now, so
Right.
it's we're here, and when we do not have a crew, most of the time somebody does call the 911 dispatch and let them know that we're not going to have a crew. Where if somebody does leave early in the morning, 911 dispatch is notified. They are notified that we're not going to have a crew, and I respond POV to all of the calls if I'm there waiting for a partner. Where somebody does leave early.
Okay.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that we follow through and we have a plan of action. If you all are not going on the call,
Yes, sir.
that's what we've heard, that you all not going on the calls and you're not answering, and then they got to go to our county EMS, and we just want to make sure. That's all. And whatever else we need to do, please talk to our county manager, and our county manager will work with you. But we got to have people on call, and we can't have that waiting. I like the conversation that you just had with us.
Yes.
That you are calling 911 and letting them know when you are not in service. That is a must. That cannot be, well, I think I called them, I didn't call them. We need to just make sure. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, it's Creasy School update, project update, and we have Mr. Roberts here. We
Good
appreciate it.
evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
I'm gonna give you a update on the Creasy School walking track.
Yes,
As of right now, we received a $15,000 donation from Enviva.
got it.
Work is scheduled to begin within the next 2 weeks, weather permitting. Currently, the ground is too wet for KPH paving and landscaping to get their equipment on the site. For safety reasons, we plan on removing 3 trees that are dying or already dead.
Okay.
And as of right now, we're waiting to hear back from Dominion Energy and GFL on our applications that we put in.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. I do want the board members to know that I've met with Enviva 3 times since we had our meeting. And all I'm trying to do is to make sure that they give to the county what you just seen here, and donations, and making sure that we receive from them kinds of donation we receive. In working this out, I want to make sure that everybody understand when I went to Enviva and when they called me and asked me in to talk with them, and I want y'all to know this is about relationship. That's what this all is about. It's about relationship. That we said $15,000 to put the walk, James, and we told them. I believe Mr. Williams told them about trees. They weren't interested in the trees. They were interested in the walk, because perhaps they want a name, put something around there saying they.
We'll put something up there.
That's right, that they invested. So that's the reason why they were instrumental in giving us the 15,000, and they want it immediately. I mean, so that was immediately. They want the walk, and I said to the fellow, yes, we would immediately see to it that it happened. But this is just the beginning of the kinds of things they want to do for us, county commission. So, are there any questions y'all need to ask about the CRESA project?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Faulkner. I am, back maybe 2 months ago, I asked that there be a block, a gate of something put there to keep people from parking. I think there was like a backhoe or something of sorts and a trailer out there. Who do they belong to? A tractor trailer.
We figured it out, and we had everybody move everything, and I put a no parking sign up, and it's worked for a while, but it's laying down now because I think the town of Rich Square is putting fire hydrants and that in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So they knocked all that stuff down, so we're gonna put that back up. I think the backhoe or the equipment that's sitting there, I think that's gonna be used for the walking track.
and the trailer, and this is my concern. Rich Square is turning into a tractor trailer dump spot, and it is making the town look bad. And I know we have to deal with the fire hydrants, but when you take a ride through town, tractor trailers are jumped off in front of storefronts that are closed, in front of vacant parking spaces, and it just looks bad. And if a town looks bad, our county looks bad. It's hard to encourage people to invest. So I just would ask again that there is something to keep the tractor trailers from being able to go in there, or there needs to be something done, because obviously the people are parking there again. Um, and the reason why I asked about the trees is that it is a safety hazard. If you go by there, there are many big, thick branches that are the wind knocks off when you have a dead tree. It doesn't take much, and then when we get wind the way we get it, especially tornado strength winds. Um, Not that kids are out there playing on that, but if it weakens the branch and the kids happen to play and wander over under a tree and it falls on them, it's that liability issue. And that's why I asked that the trees on the county responsibility side be taken care of. But I'm happy to see that um, our strategic plan promises for the investment in the Rich Square Creasy project are moving forward, with and on our side without support from external entities. So I'm thankful for that. I know the citizens will be glad when they can fully take advantage of the facility with all of our plans. So thank you. But I do ask again that there's something other than that sign that's there.
Okay, we'll take care of that.
Thank you. Board members, any other board member?
No questions.
Thank you.
James, we're looking forward to the Debbie's Creasy project being a bright spot for the county. I think our commissioners just said that. We're going to be working with other companies to bring monies into this project. At least we've been promised some additional money. So, promise or promise.
Once we hear from these other two there, we'll be able to get.
Yeah, we'll be
playground
able
and
to treat
everything.
you,
So, yeah.
you get the whole work.
Mr. Roberts, if you can, just very briefly, while we have you here, can you give us an update on the improvements to the wellness center in terms of the,
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
right
say,
now,
the
I've
sign
got,
looks great.
yep, I've got the new conference room going up. It just got inspected today, so they're gonna start sheet rock on that tomorrow, so that should be done probably within 2 weeks. The other room, that we're gonna expand the fitness room, that's almost done. I think Wednesday, they're supposed to come back and finish the floor, and then after that, we'll be done with that, and then at least those two projects are done.
we're adding,
We'll be done.
we're adding more equipment to the
Yep,
fitness.
yep, and once that's done, I'm gonna add more equipment, because I'm gonna make that to a leg room.
Thank you.
To get some of the stuff out of there, since
Thank you.
our membership has picked up, and we're picking up a lot of younger children too, so getting them, they want to use the better equipment and stuff like that.
That's right.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's what we need. That's awesome.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, commissioners. Thank all of you for all that you're doing and helping us with all the projects that we have. And you know that Creasy School project is dear to our heart, and we want to make sure that we do all we need to do with to make that the Creasy School project real. I think the biggest, next largest thing we got there is electric in that building, and we got a plan for that likewise. We do. We have a plan for that, and it's coming. Working with the county school system and with their electrician and so forth, we have a plan in place for that. Yes. That's it. We're gonna open the gym up and so forth, have someone down there to supervise. Yes, thank you. Okay. I think that's just great, and Rich Square people need to know that we have not, and Ms. Fulton would never let us forget about Rich Square and what we need to do to make it a better place. Okay, let us continue on. We have employees benefits. Employees benefits.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This evening, we will have the Layman Group present to us our second proposal and our 3-proposal chart for our benefits renewal this year. We have Mr. Chad Layman with us and Mr. Mitch Bearden. They will do their presentation. You guys have already gotten a copy of their proposal, so they'll entertain any questions you have at the conclusion of their presentation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Chad Lehman. I'm a employee benefits consultant. I'm an employee benefits consulting firm out of Wilmington, North Carolina. So I just wanted to thank you guys ahead of time for giving me the chance to make a proposal to you. I've enjoyed working with Dr. Terry, and he's been extremely nice. And whether we end up working with each other or not, I appreciate this opportunity to make a presentation. So,
Yes, sir.
that said, all right, so we're going to look at some numbers. I know I have a short period of time. I think, what do I have, about 15 minutes? Is that around? Okay. I'm going to try and do the best I can. We got a lot of numbers, so I'm going to do the best I can to make this short and sweet. All right, so let's go to the next. Okay, so these are the carriers that we looked at for you guys. So this is fully insured health insurance is what we looked at. Now we also looked at some self-funded options, which Mitch is going to talk about in a little bit. But under fully insured, we looked at Blue Cross Blue Shield, we looked at United Healthcare, we looked at Aetna, First Carolina Care, League of Municipalities, and then also some TPA options for self-funded. All right, so I think we were one of the only ones that looked at the League of Municipalities. I don't know if anybody on the board here is familiar with the League of Municipalities, but they handle just municipal health benefits. They have their own associational plan, and I worked directly with them. We did reach out to them. I do not have that proposal yet. They're taking a little bit longer to get that proposal to us. I don't expect it to be better than the numbers I'm about to show you, but it is out there, and I'm waiting on getting that. All right, next slide, please. All right, this is where all the numbers come in. All right, let me get mine pulled up here. All right, so in my proposal, I'm going to talk about a dual option where we offer a traditional and a high deductible health plan. So right now you only have one option, and that's a traditional health plan. I want to introduce offering both plans. Before I get into the numbers, I want to talk about what a HSA or high deductible health plan is. Okay, so an HSA plan or high deductible health plan is where you have a high deductible or high out of pocket, and then you can, and then you have an HSA, which is a health savings account, which is like a bank account. It's like your normal debit account that you have. You open that up, you put money in it tax-free, and your employer can also make contributions, so you guys can make contributions to your employees into that account, and then they can use it for qualified health care expenses. So you have a high deductible health plan that doesn't have any co-pays on it. So if you go to the doctor, for example, you're going to get the contracted rate with that doctor. Maybe that's $200. Maybe it's $300. Maybe it's $100. But you'll have a debit card, HSA, health savings account, just like your bank card. You swipe it there, money comes off that card, and it pays for that visit. Okay? So that's an HSA. Now, and again, the HSA, your employer, and I'll show you in the numbers here, your employer can make a contribution to the HSA. And I've got a pretty substantial contribution based on the savings by moving to that plan. I've got a recommendation for a pretty substantial contribution into that account for the employees to help offset those costs. So everybody familiar with HSA now? Understand what that is? Okay, because it's important we understand that as we go into some of these numbers. Okay, so let's look at your current plan. Current plan in the green, I'm looking at, yep, you guys have it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
The green is your current and your renewal. So what we were told is you were going to get a 7.62% increase. I have heard that that could have came down since then. Again, I don't handle your current plans. I don't really know, but I heard through some other carriers that it's possible that had gone down. But you were at $914 an employee going up to $984. It's a 7.62% increase. And one thing I know that is sensitive to the board from talking to Terry is the cost for dependents, right? How much it costs for people to insure their spouse and their children. How do we make coverage more affordable? So that is something I'm going to spend a little bit of time on with these numbers. So right now you can see, based on the contributions that Terry gave me, it looks like, if somebody wanted to insure their spouse on your renewal plan, it would cost them $925. Okay, and that's extremely high. We know most people cannot afford that, right? All right, so let's move over to Blue Cross Blue Shield option 1. This is your HSA plan. So you can see that you have a $5,000 deductible up at the top, and then you have a $5,000 total out of pocket, and then everything else is deductible and co-insurance, right? So everything you have done is deductible and co-insurance. If you go in the hospital, you got to meet your $5,000 deductible. If you go to the doctor, it's going towards that deductible. You get the contracted rate, but it's going towards the deductible. Pick up a prescription drug, it goes towards the deductible. Okay, so we know that, you don't have those copays where if you pay, you pick up a drug and you pay $10. You're not going to see that on this plan. That's what the traditional plan is, which my recommendation is to still offer the traditional, so I'm not getting away from that. Employees will still have the option to go that route if they want to. But under the HSA plan, you can see what it costs for a spouse. So $543 versus you're at $900 and something now. To insure kids, $204 versus right now it would be $348. And then the family coverage is close to $1,700 under your renewal. It would be $1,016 to insure your whole family under that particular plan. So this model that I'm showing here, if you look about a quarter of the way down, you'll see HSA contribution, and in the blue, you'll see 3,000. Just look for the 3,000 number. I know these numbers are small. Okay, but that is the contribution that I have recommended. It's not what you have to do. You could do less, you could do more. But that is the contribution that I've recommended that you put into employees' accounts throughout the year that they can then use for qualified health care expenses if they choose this plan. Okay, so let's talk about that scenario where somebody goes to the, let's talk about two scenarios. One, they go to the hospital, they have a big surgery done. Under your current plan, they pay a $3,000 deductible, $4,500 out of pocket. So basically they come out of their pocket $4,500, right? For a big hospital visit. And they're paying more for their coverage. Under option 1, the HSA plan, they are not only paying less on the premiums, let's say they go into that hospital visit and it's $5,000. Okay, so we know 5,000 is more than 4,500, but they have a $3,000 contribution from their employer into their HSA account. So really their out of pocket is what? 2,000, right? So the HSA plan, while on the surface, it doesn't look like it's as good. In most scenarios for most employees, it actually costs them less out of pocket for healthcare services than the traditional plan would. So let's say they go pick up their prescription drug and they get a bill for $150. Well, they got $3,000 on the debit card. They just swipe it and it's paid for. Okay. If they want to make additional contributions to it, they can, tax-free out of their paycheck. So if somebody says, I've got a family, $3,000 isn't quite enough, I'd like to contribute an extra $50 out of my paycheck, tax-free. They can do that. So we're familiar with an FSA, right? You guys, I think we have an FSA here already. HSA is the same thing, but it rolls over year to year. Okay, so if you make a $3,000 contribution, let's say the employee does $1,000 throughout the year, it's $4,000. That money rolls over year. Okay, so the next year, let's say they didn't use it at all. Somebody's healthy family, they insure their family. Healthy family, they don't use their health care at all. They have $4,000 rolls over in the next year, and now you get another contribution from the employer of $3,000. Now they got $7,000 in their HSA account. That money continues to build over time. So your healthy employees not only are going to get cheaper coverage on their premiums by going the HSA route, they can build their wealth in these plans over time. Okay? I said I wanted to focus on cost for dependents. So another benefit of the HSA is whether the dependents are on the plan or not, they can still use HSA funds that they're given from you to pay for their spouse's or children's health care, regardless if they are on the plan. So they may say, I just don't make enough money to insure my spouse or my children on this plan, and then they can, but that's okay. They don't have to necessarily insure them on the plan in order to purchase drugs for them or office visits or whatever it may be using their HSA funds. Okay. All right, so that's the HSA plan. And I like that option, but my advice would be to never offer that, just that plan alone. Okay, because you're gonna have a lot of employees that are used to having a traditional plan like they have now. They don't understand the high deductible HSA option because it's a little complicated to understand. And we would do everything we could to communicate it. We have lots of tools to help do that. But the bottom line is a lot of employees just they're not gonna get it. We see that all the time. And that's okay. They can still go on the traditional plan if they want, and it'll keep exactly what they have now. So let's talk about the traditional plans through Blue Cross Blue Shield. The traditional plans are I got one that mirrors your current plan, a $4,500 out of pocket with a $3,000 deductible. That plan, if you look down all the way down to the blue line, you'll see the annual percentage change from current is 17% less than current. Okay? Cost will be 17% less than what you're paying now, 23% less than your renewal, but 17% less than current to have the same exact plan. If you wanted to go with a little bit better deductible plan, you could go with option 3, and you can combine either one of these plans with the HSA plan. But you can combine option 3 with option 1 or option 2 with option 1. But the lower deductible plan still saves you 15% over your current plan. And you get a lower deductible of $1,000, you get a lower out-of-pocket of $3,000. A lot of your copays are better as well. You know, that's an option if you wanted to improve benefit under the traditional side. And you could just do one if you want. I don't want to be seen as the high deductible HSA guy only. I mean, if you said, you know what, the high deductible health plan just doesn't sound like that's a good option, that's fine. You could just pick one of these plans. Okay, so the last thing that I would recommend on these plans to help with coverage for dependents, especially during this time of COVID, is a telemedicine program. I know you have one now, but it doesn't cover spouse and dependents that are not on the plan, and they have to pay a copay when they call, from what I understand. So if you went with a standalone telemedicine program, it would cost $3.50 per month per employee. Okay? And that gives a $0 copay for the employee, their spouse, and their dependent if they are on the traditional plan. Okay, so you've got somebody who says, you know, I got 3 kids, I can't afford to put them on my plan here, just don't make enough money, whatever it is. Even the HSA option is just too expensive for them. They would still have, for $3.50 per month per employee, they would the employee's family members would have access to a doctor through telemedicine, Teladoc. Okay, so we've talked about 3 different ways. HSA, you got lower premiums. The HSA contribution from you, it can be used for dependents. So you got lower premiums on dependents. You have the HSA account that you can then use for dependents, even if they're not on the plan. And then you also have the telemedicine that you can use for dependents, even if they're not on the plan. Okay, so we've provided a lot more care and a lot more options for employees who want to ensure their dependents in a time where health insurance is crucial and but sometimes not attainable due to cost. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think before I move on, if there's anything else I want to go over on this. Any questions on the numbers? What you're looking at in front of you right now before I move on? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Just to verify, telemedicine, the telemedicine option is more available for option 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, so the zero copay is available for 2 and 3. Due to the law surrounding HSA accounts or high deductible health plans, there would be a $45 copay for people, for their dependents or the employee to use it if they have the HSA account. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Good question.
I didn't hear you say this, but under the HSA, so talk about wellness visits.
Yep. So wellness would be covered at 100%.
That's what I want to hear you say.
Yep. So wellness, assuming that it is in the parameters of what's covered under the health plan, right? Each plan you know, they all do what the ACA requires in the Affordable Care Act. They all do what that requires. Sometimes some do a little bit more, some do a little less, but they would definitely at least have the requirements under the ACA covered at 100%. Yeah, that's a great question. Glad you asked, because we get that quite a bit. Okay. Any other questions on the page we're looking at right now?
No.
Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, these are just some notes. I won't spend a lot of time here on these, but rates include a 2% consulting fee. So the numbers that you saw are 2% to our brokerage or our consulting firm. That's what we get paid to manage this plan. Blue Cross Blue Shield covers 600 plus public sector entities. Blue Cross Blue Shield medical trend for the industry group on average for the last 3 years has averaged 1%, which is really good. The Blue Cross Blue Shield pharmacy trend for this industry on average for the last 3 years has averaged 6%. So that's about average. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not bad either. Blue Cross Blue Shield can offer additional discounts for packaged ancillary benefits. So I'm spending all my time on the health insurance because I know that's the big budget item. That's what's most important, but I know I don't have time to go into all the ancillary, but if you put your dental, your disability with them, Blue Cross will lower your rate from what I've already shown you. Okay, so under Blue Cross Blue Shield, high level employees could have a $2,000 out-of-pocket plan after the HSA. So we talked about the deductible being $5,000. They get a $3,000 contribution from your employer or from Northampton County. And again, that could be $3,000, it could be $1,000, it could be $2,000, whatever you guys want it to be. Up to the limits, which I think is around $3,500 for individuals, $6,500, $7,000 for families. So you basically are giving them a $2,000 out-of-pocket plan and saving Northampton County $464,000 for the year. And now, obviously, that could change if we were to offer a traditional plan alongside it. I still think your savings are going to fall around that $464,000 range, but you would get, depending on where that participation falls, because we don't know who's going to enroll, in the high deductible health plan, who's going to enroll in the traditional, and they have different costs, so that can change things depending on that participation. One last note that I'll make on the numbers that I just presented. It's on the spreadsheet, but you mind going back one for me real quick? Forgot to mention something. So Blue Cross Blue Shield is giving, and you probably heard this from another presenter, but a $250,000 credit for signing up with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So they're offering a $250,000 premium credit. That's a one-time deal. You're not going to get it every year, but it's something that they've offered this year. Okay. All right, you can go back to the next one, please. Thank you. And rates are subject to change if the census changes. That's just a disclaimer there. We ran these quotes based on what the information we had available. If that information were to change substantially, Blue Cross reserves the right to go back and re-rate it, but that hardly ever happens. It's just for next slide, please. Okay, this is self-funded. Mitch here is our self-funded specialist, so he's going to talk briefly about that, and then I'll come back. Yes. And these were actually not in your book, so if you don't mind.
The Fed's giving me out a financial projection that we put together. It's not really the focus of what I want to talk about, but I want you to have it in your hands, just so that you can take a look at it.
Thank you.
So what we have done as we partner together in putting together programs for companies and municipals like yourself is that we're more strategic than just being insurance agents. That's the important part. Because we're proposing that you go to the Blue Cross plan. But over time, as costs rise, there are other alternative ways to do this. You're currently under what is called in insurance terms, a level funded plan, which is really partially self-funded program. So what we did is we went out to the market and said, okay, market, what do you have for us on a self-funded program? And you'll see there that the numbers reflect roughly $600,000 savings from what your current plan has in place. So not a bad proposal, right? However, a couple of factors that are involved here. One is getting all the detailed claim information for an underwriter to evaluate and for us to be able to recommend to you to change to a program like this. Your current program didn't release that information. We worked very closely with Dr. Terry on that, and he did his best, but we had limited information. So with limited information, I'm not going to make a recommendation if you go into a program like this. That's very important. The other thing is you're looking at the possibility of contributing toward dependents, right? So we don't have data on them from a claim standpoint. So in the future, if you decided to do that and stay under a fully insured plan, like we're proposing under the Blue Cross, then we can gather that information from Blue Cross. And then we can look into the future and say, does this make sense? Because over time, what you have to do as a county is you can always change insurance companies and that kind of thing, negotiate, get a little better rate. The reality is, if we can give the same products, the same good services to the employees without having to make those changes all the time, you can do that through a self-funded program, when it makes sense. So under a self-funded program, what we do behind the scenes is we take the pharmacy out and we go out to the market and we go, pharmacy manager, give us the best deal that we can get from our town. Then we go to the claim payers, the Blue Crosses, to the Cignas, and then to third-party administrators. Third-party administrators give you better cost savings. And quite frankly, oftentimes do better job with claims. And we ask them to quote as well. And then we go to a reinsurance company and do the same thing. And then we put the package together, and when you see it, you're going to see a package deal put together that's going to be impactful for the employee program. So the reason we even bring this up when we're proposing, hey, go to Blue Cross fully insured, one, like I said, can't get all the details now. But what we have done in the past, we will work with Terry and Jackson City Manager and the financial people. What we do is we will take the self-funded program and we'll run it alongside their fully insured program just to be able to view it. Does it make sense to go into it, right? So we've done this in other cities, and one of the studies that we did at the end of the first year, it would have saved over $500,000 had they been self-funded. But the beauty of it is you can take the savings that we're presenting, put the program together now, and you don't have to get into the self-funded arena. And along the way, I'm going to show you what it would have done if you were in self-funded. So you understand the concept, you understand how the program works, and you didn't have to change everything. You just stayed fully insured with Blue Cross. We'll do that every year until, does it make sense? Is this the future for Northampton? Yes or no? If it's not, we stay fully insured. If it is, then we go to a self-funded program. It's complicated, but we take the complication and we make it simple. And we do it very effectively. We've done it before. Questions on the numbers or other questions you may have for me?
Board members, are there any questions you have at this time?
Chad?
Thank you, Mitch. I will-
None from Faulkner.
Yes, Commissioner Fall.
She said none.
No question.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
So I know I'm running out of time here. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly. But our recommendation, as Mitch just said, would be to move with one of the options on the fully insured. I recommend going with the dual option, the high deductible health plan and the traditional plan. So you don't have to impact any employees that you don't want to. They can still stay in the traditional plan, but But give the employee an extra option. Why not give them an extra option to cover their dependents at a lower rate? And also to invest in the future for those employees who don't use their health insurance that often. So our proposal, I think, does that, given the dual option approach. And then let's look at the self-funded throughout the year, as Mitch just said. Let's look at it, do like a real-time analysis of what a self-funded would look like during that time. And if it looks good, we come back next year and we present, well, this is the discoveries that we made on the self-funded. We feel like you guys could save X amount of dollars by doing this, going this route, then that's what we do. But that way you can look at a self-funded, figure out how it's going to work without taking on the risk that is involved in a self-funded plan. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so that's this just talks about our recommendations. It's exactly what I just said. So we recommend moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield, taking the savings that is there, and then let's look at self-funded throughout the year. Next slide, please. These are costs for some of the extra services. So an HSA account, if you put it with Blue Cross, is zero. Blue Cross covers that built into the premiums. Teladoc is $3.50 per employee per month. And then Light Employee Concierge Service is $5 per employee per month. That's where an employee can call and say, I don't really understand this health insurance thing. Tell me where I want to get a knee surgery done, for example. Tell me the best place to go for a knee surgery. Tell me what's the lowest cost place to go get an MRI. And they will instruct them to high quality places with the lowest cost. They can also obviously call our office as well. But in a Light system, they have a network of providers that they can recommend different services. That obviously saves Northampton County money as well, because the employees are spending less on their health care, those who use it. You have to get employees engaged in it, though, for it to be effective. Bernie Portal Benefits Administration System, zero. So we do offer a Ben Admin system where we will take care of all the enrollments for your employees, and we can set up enrollments however you want. We can do them in person. We can do Zoom webinars. They can enroll in their benefits online. They can schedule one-on-one appointments with us through Zoom or in person, however they want to do it. Enrollment can be completely customized by Northampton County and function any way that you want to do it. And I have clients all over the board that do it in different ways. So we do make that a fully customizable process. And the Ben Admin system, the enrollment company that we use, and we can use other ones as well, but the one that we have in-house is Bernie Portal. It doesn't cost you anything to have it. Next slide, please. These are just the ancillary benefits. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I know I got to shut down here, but ancillary benefits, it's all kind of the same. There's a lot of fluff around that you may hear in presentations. It's all kind of the same. We all get the same quotes from the carriers. We handle every ancillary benefit that you can think of for employees. This is a list of them here. Next slide, please. Additional services at no cost. So we do open enrollment and new hire support. So we'll even come out and see new hires orientations. We can do those in person or through Zoom. 24/7 availability to management. So town manager and HR directors would have access to us. I should say county manager. County manager and HR would have access to us 24/7 to me. Wellness consulting. So we can bring in wellness companies to handle that piece of it. HR compliance portal. So we have an HR compliance portal for Dr. Terry. HR hotline. Where they can call and speak to a professional HR person. Employee handbook supports, we create your employee handbooks, your compliance, total compensation statements, benefits benchmarking, retiree, Medicare consultations, and then we also have access to an employee benefits attorney as well for any questions that you may have, legal questions regarding benefits. Okay. Next slide. All right, that's it. Any questions for me?
Board members, any questions?
Hope I didn't rush through the end there. I know it want me to go, so I know I'm past my time already. But thank you for this opportunity. Whether I see you again or not, thank you again for the opportunity to present in front of you. And if you have questions, I'm going to leave a set of cards up front here. And if you have questions and want to call me on my cell phone, I'm in Wilmington, so I got a 3-hour drive. So feel free to call me and ask me questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Dr. Wood, you'll be communicating with them. We have any questions, we'll feed them to you, and we'll be waiting for you, Dr. Wood, for you to get back with us. Thank you. This time, we need to. So the water agreement with. You can, okay. Water agreement, our attorney is going to lead us through that. Kurt is not here with us at this time. Are we all right, County Manager? Our attorney's gonna lead us through. Okay, that'd be fine.
Thank you, Chairman Tyner. Board members, before you is a water service agreement between the county and the town of Seaboard. While I cannot really get into or cannot knowledgeably explain the water system, that's for our public works folks. I can tell you that this agreement is a 10-year agreement for the purchase of water by the county from the town of Seaboard for up to 50,000 gallons per day. I know that this has been vetted and reviewed closely by Mr. Rogers and James Brown. They both were in agreement with it. So I will open the floor. I know we're behind on our schedule, so if there are any questions, I'll do my best to answer those.
This is the same agreement that we've had with them in the past.
I do not know.
I'm not sure of the details of the past agreement because I've only been here a year and a half.
It's my understanding, I believe this is a new agreement, Chairman Tyner.
It is.
I think so. And if you would feel more comfortable, obviously tabling this, I will defer.
I would feel, because we just need to make sure we get clarity on it. And I think James would probably be the person. Would you think, County Manager?
Yeah, Kirk would have been here tonight had it not been for this accident.
Yes.
So we can table
I think it's nothing we need to do tonight. Am I right?
It's not a pressing deadline per se, but Seaboard has been asking us to take care of this as quickly as possible, but I think we can table it until the 19th.
Let's table it to the 19th, because we just need to ask some questions that we.
Okay.
Seems like no one else can answer. Okay.
That's fine. I would recommend if we have a motion to table it.
Okay, could I have a motion to table the water agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I move we table the water agreement.
Move the proper second, Commissioner Boone, that we would table this water agreement. Are you ready for your question and discussion? All in favor, let know by you sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you. Can we go to the CERT release form, emergency management services? CERT, we got Mr. Burnett.
Good afternoon, board members.
Good evening.
Have a handout for everybody, I believe. I have one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me start out by saying good evening and good evening to the listening public.
Good evening.
To thank you all for having me here in front of you today. I want to start this off just by just making this statement. And the statement is it's not a question of when we will have a disaster. It's not a question of where we will have a disaster. It's when we'll have a disaster. Last year, we had the most amount of named storms in America that has ever been before. And this year, they're expecting the storms to be a lot more increased than it was last year. All of the training that I've been through with FEMA, the number one thing comes up is having a CERT team, a community emergency response team. I want to bring the board's attention back 3 weeks ago. on the Bly Road. We were tracking the storm, the last big storm that we had come through here. I was tracking that storm for 2 days. And that storm came in through the Littleton area, and it came in Northampton through Lake Gaston, and it moved down toward I-95. And unfortunately for our area, it hit on the Bly Road where we had straight line winds in excess of 85 miles an hour. We had 5 homes damaged up there in that area. We had one family that was traveling on the Big John Store Road, and a tree fell directly on their vehicle, having a limb go right inside the person's car. And just by the grace of God, that driver wasn't killed. None of them was hurt. When I got down to that scene, it was like a bomb went off there on the Bly Road. I had 2 homes that was majorly damaged when I got down there. I called for fire to come to assist. In incidents like that, and I've been to numerous incidents such as that, I know we had one in Bertie County last year where a tornado touched down and just destroyed the whole community. And on this Bly Road area, that looked similar to that, only it was less homes damaged on the Bly Road there. Myself and intern, Mr. Keyone Faison, we got on the scene and we assessed that area from what we could see, because it was around about 9:30 when that hit. We arrived back on the scene that next morning. We had Red Cross there with us to assist those families with trying to get on their feet. The number one thing that was on my mind during that time, how can I get those families the help that they need dealing with this CERT? Where can I find people to come in and help with this? And the Red Cross guided me to Disaster, North Carolina. So I placed a call to Disaster, North Carolina, and guess where Disaster, North Carolina ran out of for the Division 1? It ran out of Galatia Baptist Church. And they sent 7 gentlemen down there. They came with power saws, trucks and trailers, and they was able to get down there and help those families, cut those limbs, get on top of their homes, assess the damage, the whole 9 yards, and the whole community came out. And that's where it goes back to this CERT. This CERT team will give Northampton County that same ability to do exactly what those gentlemen did. The CERT entails it's going to be 7 weeks of 2-hour training each week. And at the end of that week, we will have a graduation for those people. It's going to touch on disaster preparedness, disaster fire suppression, disaster medical operations, patient assessment, CPR and first aid, and light search and rescue. Right now, we had indicated we're looking for 18 and above, but we want to drop that to 16 and above, giving our young people an opportunity to volunteer for this. And along with this is the application, and the release form is in that package where we had the attorney go through and create that release form for us. But from everything, all of my training tells us that we need to have this in place. And I got to tell you all, another one of the things that I'm hoping to see bring to fruition here in the county is something similar to this, dealing with our farmers. That's going to help Northampton County. That's going to give us that infrastructure capability that we need to be self-sustaining if something, we do have a critical incident to take place here in Northampton County. So with that said, do I have any questions from anyone at this time?
Any questions, board members? I think this is just great. This is, again, the community working. I want to emphasize to, I think Galatia Baptist Church and your men down there for having that program that assisted us in the Gaston area. And I think a lot of our churches now have those organizations within their church that will help during disaster. I think this is just great. The more people we have, the better off we are involved. And then to have them to sign to make sure that liability, that we're not liable. It's just great. And people are really willing to help. I saw that up there at the Gaston when we had the high winds and so forth. People are really willing to work. I think by doing this, you're organizing the work, organizing.
No doubt.
Without a doubt. That's just great. It's
Great.
This is just apparent. Proactive, that's the word.
I'd like to give our intern, Mr. K1 Facing, give him a big shout out. He was supposed to do the presentation tonight, but unfortunately he's having family issues right now with his grandfather. So if you would, keep him and his family in your prayers.
Absolutely.
Will do.
Thank you so much.
County.
Mr. Burnett.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Burnett, I just want to thank you for the immaculate job that you are doing, coming in and taking on the mammoth task of preparing for all of the different things that you've had to prepare for since you've been there, organizing, keeping the citizens informed, and to a point to where the citizens want to be involved. That community spirit is what I like the most. So I thank you for spearheading the work in your department and being a true leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Faulkner. And I must say, I have so many people helping me along the way, our EMS team, along with other county response teams that deeply in helping with this. So thank you all so much.
And Mr. Brennan, I'd like to echo what Vice Chair said and the chairman and my fellow commissioners. And Ms. Burnett, you know, on Bly Road, and when a citizen is without a home, when I saw those men from Galatia, and then I saw Red Cross on the scene the very next day, bright and early, and making sure that those families were safe. But that, you know, that starts with effort, and that starts with time, and that starts with a person. And that's why when Vice Chair said thank you, no, thank you sincerely, because when a person loses a home, and to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, that home had only been there 1 month. 1 month. And now you have a family displaced. Like you said, it's not a matter of how, but when it's going to happen. And it sure happened on Bly Road, seeing that tree totally destructed in the 3 places, and then the citizens coming together to aid each other. That's the power, Mr. Chairman, when you say coming together.
You're right. And I want to thank you too for being with Mr. Burnett. You all on WRAL. I think you all did an outstanding job of representing Northampton County. I want to give my echo. I want to say to you, thank you for all that you did in response. And the people are really appreciative. We really are. Citizens need it.
Mr.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Burnett, again, yes, thank you. When do you propose the classes starting?
We're ready to pull the trigger on this as soon as possible, whenever the county manager give us the go.
Okay.
We're ready to go ahead and get this going. We had a wonderful meeting on Lake Gaston this past Saturday. At the Lake Gaston Community Center, we had community leaders there from all over Lake Gaston. They gave you kudos, Mr. Edwards. Thank you for what you're doing. I totally pass that on.
Thank you.
But we had a wonderful turnout, and we shared the information about the CERT, and we got plenty of people that's willing to get involved. The fire chief up there, Ronald Wildwood, he has definitely told us he wants to be a part of this. Him and some of his members want to be a part. So whenever the county manager give us the green light, we're going to pull the trigger, and we're going to get this all over Northampton County.
Good. Thank you. Now thank you, Mr. Burnett, for all you do. This time we're going to have tax matters.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm here tonight to obtain the board's approval to release or refund Avalon taxes assessed in the amount of $6,139.93 on 4 bills. Attached is a listing of the property owners who have requested that I appeal to the Board of Commissioners on their behalf for a release or refund of tax to which they seek relief as provided by general statutes 105-381.
Okay, board members, you see the number of error learn tax appeals. I just need to ask you about Ronald Chawan Community Health Center. Did they pay that amount, or are we gonna?
We need to release it because they made an application the first part of 2020 and it was never coded, the account wasn't coded, so they should never have gotten the bill in the first place.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
Any other questions, board members? Board members? What is your pleasure, board members?
Mr. Chairman, I move to release, the approval of release of the ad valorem taxes in the amount of $6,139.93.
Mr. Edwards have made a motion. Could I have a second?
Second, Buffalo.
Second by Commissioner Buffalo. Any question and discussion? Not, then all in favor, let it be known by you just saying aye.
Aye.
Buffalo.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you.
I thank you.
Not tonight.
And the second paper is just letting everyone know that we did mail the notices to the Gaston Fire District. So they would be aware of the proposed hearing. Just a second.
What is this hearing on this? What is this here?
The current Gaston Fire District is looking at expanding its district to include the town limits of Gastonville before they were not.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Attorney, we don't have to do anything, do we?
No, sir. Ms. Butler's just given the board notice and the public notice that this hearing will be held on May the 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
And that the notices were mailed out on
March the 29th.
29, yes, sir.
Okay.
We've had their return, so.
Where is that hearing going to be held? Here.
Hearing will be held in this room, right?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, it's May the 3rd at 5:30 PM. And a separate notice, a formal notice has been, I believe it's already been published. And I believe it should be on our county website.
Okay.
So there are a number of statutory prerequisites that we have to follow, and we're just doing that well in advance.
Thank you.
And we're working with the fire district hand to hand to put this template together to make sure we're on course with making all the legal requirements necessary.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. At this time, we shall have financial matters.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have the financial report for February 2021. This is the 8th month into fiscal year 2021. And at this point, we want to have received at least 66% of our revenue, and we have received 79%.
Nice.
We want to have expended under 66%, and we have only expended 54%.
My God. Well, board members, you got a copy of the financial report? Any question that you might have?
Thank you.
Board members, I do want to, while we are talking about financial matters, I want to bring this to the county managers. I need to put it on the record. County manager, we do know that we have fund balance. We do know that we have deposits that we need to look at and make sure that we're getting all we need to get as far from our deposits. I want to put it on record that two of you all will look into. We have accounts at Southern Bank. We have accounts with the state.
PNC.
And PNC, We got 3 accounts. All I want you all to do is to make sure that we are getting from those accounts the max that we can receive. Okay, and it might be that one would do more than the other. I'm leaving that entirely up to you. But I've been on this board and asked for this for like 4 years, and no one really looked into it because no one really knew that we had a PNC account, okay, at one time. I brought it to the attention of this board because I went and looked, trying to find out where all our monies were for the county. So commissioners, I think it's a time for us to look at, we're talking about the millions of dollars that we have. How have we got them invested, making sure that we're getting the top dollar out of our dollars. So if you all, I know County Manager, you got your plate full, but every day we might be missing some dollars that we could have for our county.
I've already talked to Ms. Green. That is our summer project. We're going to be working on.
You all would do that.
It would have been taken care of last year had it not been for the coronavirus relief.
I understand, but I just think we need to note that we're going up with our fund balance, so we're going up with the amount of money we have in the bank, and I just think that as we go up, we ought to make sure that we're getting the dividends. We're getting from that every dime we can possibly get. And I would have no problem, if commissioners would have no problem if you want to just interview folks and see what their plan is. The ones that we have. We know Southern Bank, of course, is in our county. And we do know that our checking account is there, but we know the PNC is not in our county. And we just need to make sure. That's all. I don't need to say no more about that. If y'all would just do that, looking at financial matter. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Now we shall move forward, continue on. Sure.
I have budget amendment number 29. This is to receive insurance proceeds for the sheriff's office at the amount of $1,000.
Okay.
Budget amendment number 30. This is to receive the reimbursement funds from the coronavirus relief funds for the elections office in the amount of $36,008.55.
Yes, ma'am.
Budget amendment number 31 is to receive $96,637 for the health department for COVID vaccination program. And budget amendment number 32 is to receive the reimbursement funds for the elections office in the amount of $13,868.04.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of grants.
Oh my God. Board members, you got any questions y'all need to ask before I ask for a motion to approve these funds? Do you have any questions? If not, what is your pleasure, board?
Motion that we approve the budget amendments, 29, 30, 31, and 32.
Second.
I have been moved and properly second by Mr. Edwards that we approve those budget amendments. Are you ready for a question? So all in favor, let known by you saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Faulkner.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Keeping up with our money, you're doing a great job. A great job. At this time, we shall move forward. Proclamation. I'm going to ask our vice chairperson, if you would, at this time, do our proclamation for us, please. Commissioner Faulkner.
Just give me one moment. I have to pull back up the.
Okay, no problem.
Moved it and then, it moves down. Just give me one second.
I do apologize for not telling you earlier.
Put me on the
was
spot.
I know it. It's
all
nothing
right.
you can't, it's nothing you can't handle.
Okay. Northampton County Board of Commissioners proclamation in honor and memory of Sergeant LaShonda Donnell Owens. Whereas the citizens of Northampton County lost a dedicated public servant with the death of Sergeant LaShonda D. Owens on March 18th, 2021. Whereas born in Northampton County on July 20th, 1979, to Ballard Owens and the late Arlene Owens, LaShonda attended Northampton County Public Schools and graduated from Northampton County High School West, class of 1997, and thereafter continued her education at Halifax Community College. Whereas LaShonda pursued a career at the Northampton County Sheriff's Office as a detention officer on September 6, 2016, where she served part-time until transitioning to full-time on June 28, 2018, until her passing. Whereas through hard work and dedication, she was promoted to sergeant on July 1st, 2020. Sergeant Owens was respected and loved by all employees of the Northampton County Sheriff's Office and Northampton County local government. Whereas Sergeant Owens was universally loved and will be missed by all those whose lives she touched. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Northampton County Board of Commissioners respectfully honors the life and memory of Sergeant LaShonda Donnell Owens and expresses sincere sympathy and condolences to her family during this time of great personal loss. Be it further proclaimed that the board expresses on behalf of the citizens of Northampton County deep appreciation and gratitude for the service and commitment given by Sergeant Owens on behalf of Northampton County. This, the 24th day of March, 2021, Charles R. Tyner, Sr., Chairman, Northampton County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Could I have a motion that we would accept this proclamation?
I make a motion, Chairman, that we accept this proclamation in honor and memory of Sergeant LaShonda Donnell Owens.
Second.
Moving properly second that we would accept the proclamation that's being read, and a copy of this will be given to family. At this time, are there any questions and discussion? All in favor, let it know by you. Sign aye.
Aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye, Faulkner.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to number 14, the board appointments. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to not, we do not have all of them at this time. So I'm asking you to table this until the next meeting. And those of you commissioners in those districts, please, I'm begging you, we need to fill those vacancies. I think our clerk has gotten in touch with some of you. You perhaps did not respond, but please work with us on these, your area, coming from all of the areas in the districts in the county. So please make sure that you work with our county clerk and giving her the names. Do I need a motion to table this? Could I have a motion to table this until the next meeting? Okay, could I have a second?
Second, Buffalo.
Second one is Buffalo. It's been moved and properly seconded that we will table this until our next meeting. Are there any questions and discussion? All in favor, let it known by you sign aye.
Aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye,
Ayes have it.
Faulkner.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. To our citizens of the county, this is your opportunity to have input in our county government. If you desire to have any, you have a desire to be placed, named to any of these boards, please fill out the application, that either call our county office, and our clerk to the board would help you in filling out the application. Thank you so much. At this time, we got cable station requests. We're gonna ask, you have it before you. There any questions? Maybe Commissioner Faulkner, do you have any discussion you want to make on about this? And you have been the one who spearheaded making sure that we have this.
Thank you, Chairman Tyner. Yes, we have been working to market Northampton County holistically and to provide various ways of our citizens to be able to access resources such as our board meetings, from the school board to our board of commissioners, from things that are happening in our community, job vacancies, postings, graduations, all of those things. We are looking at trying to have a channel dedicated for Northampton County for each of the cable companies that serve our communities. And with that, and that's Mediacom and Charter, with that, it requires a letter of support from the county commissioners. And it starts at the county level, and then other entities within our county, private sector, public sector can access. There's more information that goes along with it, but this is the first of the final steps to make this happen. All of the legwork has been going on for about a year to get us to this point with COVID and people being out with the cable companies that handle this type of project. We've had to just be patient, and I'm coming before you tonight to present this letter of support. Again, that's required to be submitted to both cable companies on behalf of the county commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Faulkner. Board members, do you have any questions you want to ask about this? This is really working with our school system and making sure that we connect. Do you have any questions that you might have? If not,
I will add also that it includes emergency information and educational programming.
Okay, thank you. At this time, what is your pleasure, board members?
I make a motion that we approve the cable station request letter.
Okay.
To the Charter Communication and Mediacom.
Okay.
Second.
Probably second, that we will send the letters on behalf of the commission, requesting that they would help us with communication in the county. Are there any question and discussion? All in favor, no, by you sign aye.
Aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye, Faulkner.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you, County Commissioner. At this time, if we move along, we have our county manager's comment at this time.
Yes, good evening, everyone, citizens. First, I want to extend my condolences to the family of Sergeant Owens. I think I came in contact with Ms. Owens on one occasion, but I definitely want to let the family know that Northampton County is here for you, and we want to support you in any way possible. It's tough losing a member of the local government family. And she has two young sons. One is 13 and one is 21. And I had a chance to talk with them last week when they came into the office. And I just want them to know that, we thank your mother for her service. And if there's anything I can do personally, please contact me. I'll do all I can to help you. I can't imagine losing my mother at that age and having to go through life through that situation. So I'm here to help you. Mr. Warren, Dion Warren, earlier today, he came by and he talked about his journey to where he is today. And he wants to partner with the county to tell his story to our young people, our students, about the hard work that goes into success. He has a story to talk about his gifts and talents, but also how he He put in the hard work to develop his craft to get where he is today. I'm excited about the partnership we're going to have with him. I'm also excited about the land use plan. The county's proposed land use plan is going to be the first official land use plan for the county. We have a public hearing scheduled for April 19th. We put a lot of work in this over the past year or so. I want to thank Mr. Tyner, Mr. Grover Edwards, Mr. Vernon Key, and Mr. Franklin Williams and Mr. Flynn for all the hard work they put into it, and also for the advisory committee. I always say economic development begins with land use, and this is going to put the county on the right path to develop for the future. So I'm looking forward to that. I also want to report some good news in terms of public health. We track the metrics for the infection rate for the county. Each week, I send a report to the commissioners and to the staff. And I'm pleased to state that the infection rate for the county is 2%. And just maybe 6 weeks ago, it was about 17%. So that's how far we've come with the vaccinations. I want to thank Director Andy Smith and his staff for the hard work, and for the citizens for being involved, coming to get the vaccine, for keeping their distance, wearing their mask. As you can see, the county is putting its best foot forward to fighting the effects of the coronavirus. So again, thank everyone for their efforts. In terms of economic development, we're going to be rolling out a micro business COVID relief fund program. We're going to be targeting businesses with 10 employees or less in order to provide them some small relief for their expenses during the COVID crisis. If you have any questions about the program, if you're a small business or micro business with 10 or less employees, please contact our director, Mr. Franklin Williams, and his staff to enroll in the program. We're excited about this program again. It's another tool in our belt for economic development, just one of many. And we plan to use this as a sort of a pilot program to see how we can enroll the businesses and provide assistance. Again, this is another tool under our belt. And last, I want to congratulate Ms. Tamika Green and her finance staff for the extraordinary work they put in to making sure that we're compliant with our financial statement audits over the past couple of years. They actually completed 3 audits within over a 12, 13-month time period. I cannot tell you how much hard work has gone into completing that task. Thank you, Ms. Green. Citizens, thank you. You can't even apply for grants unless your audits are up to date. And what this has meant for the county is extraordinary. I've had a chance to see Ms. Green and her staff working 8 o'clock at night, working weekends, putting in the hard work to make sure that the county is financially compliant, sound, as you heard tonight, in terms of collecting revenues and controlling expenditures. This has been a direct effect of the leadership that Mrs. Green has provided the county. Thank you very much. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. We appreciate all that you've done, how you helped us, Mr. Jackson, through the crisis that we've been through. Again, we thank you and the entire county staff. This time we're gonna have citizens. Do we have any citizens? And I believe we do. Town of Gaston Police Officer Evan Sokolow, okay. Excuse me, just 1 minute. Let me have our attorney to give you some information before you begin to speak.
These are just the ground rules, which you probably have seen. But you'll have 5 minutes to give your comments. If you have any questions of any of the board members, you will receive a subsequent response from county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you tonight. And under North Carolina law, this time is afforded to you and all citizens on the agenda for the purpose of allowing public commentary on county business. This is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county manager or county employee, and the chair has the authority to maintain the decorum. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Chairman Tyner, ladies and gentlemen, County Council. I'm here just to bring and make you all aware of a pressing issue in our community that I care so deeply about. Little background, I'm from the Baltimore, Maryland area. Moved out here, went to canine school, and ended up in law enforcement in Halifax County, Northampton County area. I love this community. This is a community that's very close and dear to my heart. I love working with our partners with the county sheriff's office, all of the men and women of the county, also the men and women of the town of Gaston, police department, and so forth. However, I am here to express that approximately back in October of 2020, one of our town commissioners had made racially charged remarks in my presence. Those comments were taken to my supervisor, who's my chief of police, Corey Dixon. From there, that was brought up through the chain of command through our local government process in the town of Gaston. Subsequently, there was a meeting that took place where there was a suggestion that for me coming forward, I should be terminated. And that was brought up at, I believe, at the February 8th town council meeting. That members of our community, and I believe some members that live in the county, were at and present at. Like I said, speaking up is not easy, but in this particular case, it's the just and right thing to do. It's, I do it with the utmost integrity, utmost honesty. There would be no reason to bring these comments up, these racial comments that were made against members of our community that live in Gaston, but also members of our elected body, of a particular commissioner. So, what I'm here to say is I understand that there's due process. I understand that, everyone's entitled to such, but my understanding of what has taken place at the last town council meeting in our jurisdiction is our mayor has expressed we should let the Lord take it over, and summarizing, we should forgive and forget. And I will say that here in, obviously this day and age, we're in 2021, folks, and forgive and forget is not the answer. That's not what our citizens in Northampton County want to hear. It's not what our citizens in Gaston want to hear, and it's not what our nation wants to hear. When someone makes racially charged remarks, they want it looked into, and our governing body has, through our town attorney and so forth, chosen to go in a different direction. So, while I understand you all are the county commissioner board and so forth, and don't have maybe much authority over what takes place in our local government, I'm here to say, as a sworn law enforcement officer, as a member that really does care about this community, and certainly I appreciate Mr. Burnett's assistance, and his team, and all of you. Obviously, the journalism and press folks that I might add have been threatened after the fact for reporting on this issue, for reporting on this very issue. And that's not acceptable. These folks have a job to do, you all have a job to do, and we as law enforcement and as a community and nation as a whole have a duty. And this is not acceptable, folks. So, I understand that I'm not asking you all to, per se, do anything. What I am asking is just to bring it to your attention that this should not be covered up. This should not be in the Lord's hands, but that's pretty much what.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me.
Thank you.
Let me assure you, we heard you. We have no jurisdiction over the town of Gaston. And we want you to know that. But we know the town of Gaston is in Northampton County.
Yes.
And I want you to know that this Board of Commissioners will not stand for anything to be done against any people. That's not justice. And I want you to know that we are hoping that you will continue to pursue by law every course that you could possibly go through, and know that the county government itself do not tolerate that in our county government. So thank you so much for sharing with us. We appreciate you sharing, because we're all one in Northampton County. You might be Gaston Town but yet you are in the county of Northampton. We thank you, we appreciate you, and I know that there are organizations and others who would help you through this crisis. Be blessed.
I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Finally, Chairman Tyner, the clerk handed me 2 letters forwarded to the board by Marvin and Mary Rawls of Garysburg. And their letters state, to whom it may concern, I do not wish to change my voting method. Please let my method of voting remain as it has been in past elections. And these letters are dated March the 30th of this year.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Tyner.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't send my condolences to Mayor Roy Bell, who lost his spouse just recently. I've been meaning to announce that, but Mayor Bell, I do extend my condolences to you and your family. If there's anything Northampton County can do, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? No other comments? No others. At this time, we will move forward with board members, and board members, you can further make your comments in any way you so desire. I'm going to start with Buffalo. Do you have any comments this evening?
Good evening to everyone. It came in my email today that there will be 2 job fairs tomorrow. The Family Resource Center is proud to present the Reentry Job Fair open to the public, and it's going to be at the Center for Energy Education in Roanoke Rapids. It's from 10 a.m. until 1. I will pass this information on to our clerk, and perhaps she can post it this evening to our Facebook or wherever she can. And the other one is Virtual Career and Resources Fair from 1 until 3. They have to register at tinyurl.com/rivers, RIVERS, Expo, or text Expo 2. And that's for Beaufort County NC Work Center, Hereford Bertie County NC Work Center, Martin County NC Work Center, and Pitt County NC Work Center. It has to do with Rivers East. Those are my comments.
Thank you. We appreciate all that you do and all the support that you give. We do know that we'll continue to work in your district in the town of Seaboard.
Thank you.
And we do know that we have some good news today from the town of Seaboard about the discharging of water from Fraser, from the plant there. So all is working out well. And we did not pass tonight for the town of Seaboard about some water, but we really didn't understand it, and we're waiting. So if you'll let Mel down there know she's not listening, that we're working on that, and we will get back. We will have that concluded at our next meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, Commissioner Boone.
Good evening to everyone. I first want to start off by making it known again to the citizens in District 3 that we are looking for citizens in District 3 to possibly serve on boards here in the county. So if you are interested, contact me. My number is 252-955-1714, or you can reach me at 252-534-4241. Again, this is to serve as a District 3 representative for the Planning Board, also for Economic Development Board. Looking for some citizens from District 3 to serve in this capacity. Please reach out to me, or feel free to reach out to our clerk to the board if you are interested. I also wanted to take just a few moments to make an announcement to our citizens that we will be having a Northampton County memorial ceremony dated Sunday, April the 11th, 2021. We will begin at 7:00 p.m. This ceremony is to pay honor to citizens in our county who we've lost the past year. This could be citizens we've lost due to the pandemic, citizens we've lost due to other health reasons, citizens we've lost, natural causes, citizens that we have just lost in Northampton County. We are wanting to let our families know in Northampton County that we are still here with you, and that we want to let you know that we have not forgotten those families that have lost loved ones. This has been a tough year for all of us. And so we want to provide this, I would say, a night of hope and maybe some revitalization, reviving for our county. You can send the name of your loved one if you desire. You can send the name along with the photo of your loved one, if you so desire, to clerk.to.board at nhcnc.net. Again, if you are listening tonight and you have lost a loved one for whatever the reason, feel free to send the name of your loved one and their photo to clerk.to.board at nhcnc.net. This ceremony will take place at our Northampton County Courthouse steps, and we will be prepared to do a lighting of candles in honor of these citizens that we have lost. Those are my comments tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Boone. We appreciate it. You didn't say anything about Halifax County when we went over there the other night and we received the award, and we did receive it for the great work that the county's done on behalf of the vaccine. And we want to thank our health department in particular, and all departments that worked so well during this crisis. We did receive, and I didn't bring it tonight, trophies for the great work that Northampton County has done during this time. At this time, we should move forward. Mr. Kevin Edwards, if you would, at this time in the comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter, and we're looking forward to coming back to work and talking about the school system now. When you talk about our students, they're on spring break. I hope they're having a restful time at home. Our teachers are resting, and all the staff, because when they come back, there's only 25 days left in school. And it's time to take some end of course testing and move forward and in the school year. Our deepest regrets and condolences to the Owens family and to Mayor Bell and his family, two wonderful citizens that we've lost, and so good to hear that we're having that memorial service on April the 11th. Courageous, sir, courage in this in trying times, and thank you so much for your courage. And to our citizens in Gaston, we are here and we support citizens in Gaston because we are in some trying times, but we must stand fast to overcome, and together we can. And when you look at where we are, we have done some things. It was at a football game. Hadn't been to a football game in over a year. And let me be clear, a high school football game where we had the mighty Jaguars, and they were triumphant over the North Edgecombe Warriors. And we look forward, and there were so many citizens out. It was just good to see things getting back to normal. And I do want to thank Andy Smith and the director of the health department and the health department for getting those shots, letting us come back together. And also in my final comment, thank you once again, Mr. Burnett, because looking at citizens come together in time of disaster is truly amazing. And that's what I witnessed when I went down Bly Road and I saw groups of citizens picking up debris and helping a family and families in time of need. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Elson. We're appreciative of you and how you're responding to all the calls that you've received. And we just want to say thank you for all the places that you go and representing us as a county likewise.
Thank you.
At this time, Commissioner Faulkner, will you at this time express your concern or make comments?
Good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of our employees that have been doing such a wonderful job to keep us abreast of what's going on in their departments and to help our county move forward. It is not an easy task for any department or our board, even collectively as commissioners, to move this county forward without one another. It is truly a community within a community. I also want to ask our citizens to try to pay close attention to your surroundings as times get warmer and things start happening. Just look out for one another. If you notice something awry in your neighborhood, please contact the local sheriff's department. Don't try to do investigations on your own, but look out for one another. Again, as the weather gets warm, people are out walking, and sometimes they're not necessarily people from our neighborhood. Watch out, make sure you lock your vehicles at all times, and just be safe. And I also want to remind our parents or those who are looking out for young ones or teenagers to be vigilant. There are far too many missing children that are happening even within our community. I know children don't want you to look at their cell phones or their social media accounts, but please stay connected to know what's going on so that we don't have to have bad news about any of our young men or young women in our communities. And I watch just too many sad stories that are happening around our country with missing and being found murdered young ladies and young men. And I don't want to scare anyone. It's not to scare anyone, but anytime when children are out for extended periods of time, then sometimes they resort to social media and being connected with individuals who pretend to be their age and to lure them away. I just want us to stay vigilant. And that's a part of being a community as well, is letting one another know when things are happening, that human trafficking is real. And so are people who are out to do bad things, if you will, in our communities. So just be active, and thank our sheriff for the work that he's doing to keep us informed. But sometimes we have to share things with the sheriff's department happening in our communities that they might not be aware of. Continue to be a community. Continue to let us know how we can help you, and to offer your help, such as Commissioner Boone mentioned, on the boards that are within your community. That is your voice. Dr. Edwards and I, Commissioner Dr. Edwards and I, sat on a panel for Halifax Community College. It was just the two of us talking about local government 101. And one of the questions from a young person was, how can they be involved? in local government and how can they seek internships. There are so many different opportunities for employment with Northampton County in so many different areas. Pay attention to our Human Resources Job Board. If you're interested in work, if you're interested in internships, contact our HR department, our Human Resource department, to see if there are any openings within our departments in our county. We do want our young people to come back, and we do want them to be involved. Starting out on some of those boards is a wonderful way. If you're 18 or over, it's a wonderful way to start learning about your place in local government. We will retire one day. Even those the department heads, they will retire one day. Commissioners will not run one day. We will want to go and sit on our rocking chairs on the front porch at some time as well. So we want our people, our young people, to be ready to take the realm and to move our county forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Faulkner. Good evening to all of you who are listening to us tonight. I am appreciative of this board. I'm appreciative of them letting me be chairman of this board. I've often said to them, if either of you desire to be chairman, you certainly can be chairman. But I'm appreciative of you giving me this opportunity. Let me share with you some things that I need to share with our Northampton County community. First of all, we do know that there was a petition presented to us at our last meeting, our names of those who want to change our district. Likewise, tonight, I want you to know I have petitions from those who desire not to change from the way we are electing our people in our district. So we got two petitions going on in the county, but our voice, what we've said as commissioners, let the courts make that decision for us if it needs to be made. They made it for us in 1965, so now let them make it again. So there again, we're asking all of you to note that we've taken our stand, and that is our stand. The other point that I really want to make to you is the fact that the letters that our attorney read tonight from citizens of our county, that somebody is going around telling folks to sign the petition, and then they come to find out that they were told something wrong, and they want to change from the petition of changing from what they signed up for, and what they signed up for was to change. But then when they found out that they were signing something they didn't really understand, they wrote letters to us. That's what you heard earlier. They wrote letters to the county, making sure that we understood that they do have no desire to change. We do know that that is an issue that faces our county, and I want you to know that we take this issue serious. But we do understand that we do have the districts now 5, and we appreciate our 5 districts. We think it's working well with us. You got someone in your community or someone in your area that will respond to your questioning. If you are positive and if you come with the right attitude, they will respond. So we're all about working together. And we're going to be about working together. Let me also mention to you that we are in the midst of some major projects in our county. I want you to know that we are in the midst of it. We are in the midst of number 1, and hoping our county manager will have for us today when we shall open up the Senior Citizen Center for Northampton County. We'll have that place available for the senior citizens of Northampton County. That will mean that we will have 3 places for our seniors to go to, one in Severn that we support wholeheartedly, one in the Gaston, at the Gaston Community Center that we support wholeheartedly. And now we will have one owned and operated by the county. We were the only ones in our district. And remember, I represent our district. I am in charge of commissioners in all of our districts, including Warrenton, Halifax, and Edgecombe County. I am the chairperson, and we were the only one in this area that did not have a county senior citizens building. We're proud of the senior citizen building that we have, and we're proud of those who made it work out for us. It really didn't cost us to build anything, but we had to go in there and do some renovation. And I want to thank Ms. Buffalo, and I want to thank Ms. Smallwood, all of you who really helped to make this possible. Coming July, August, we plan to open up that center, and we plan to have our seniors back in that center again. In Northampton County, we're working hard. We're working hard day and night to bring about the changes that need to be made. Let me also say that we're working as we speak on our courthouse. We continue to work on our courthouse. And by the way, folks, we got a report from the state that our courthouse is just in poor condition. The inspection said it was in poor condition. They sent me a letter telling us the kinds of things that we need to make sure that we take care of at our courthouse. And some of them we just can't take care of beyond our control because of the age of that building. Am I right, County Manager?
This is the second letter we received.
It's the second letter we received. So I want the citizens to know we're not just building a courthouse because we want to see a new building. We're building it because it's a necessity. It's a must that we build a new courthouse. So I ask the citizens to continue to work with us as we're moving forward. Along with that, we're even asking the state to help us financially with the building of this courthouse. And all the information we have received thus far has been positive. They're looking at us positive to help us by giving us some funding to help us with our new courthouse. All of you know that we're in the business. We're in the business of Northampton County. We're in the business of making sure that the small businesses have an opportunity in Northampton County. We want to make sure that small businesses, whom we know is really the heart of the county, we know the reason why our county manager could give us a report last week about our fund balance, about how much money we have, is because small businesses that we have advocated for, that we've helped, that they have come through with the sales tax funds. So in Northampton County, where are we going? Oh, I-95, 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 and the Gettysburg exit, I-95, and all those places up there. Oh, we got a future. We can't announce it yet, but we want you to know we're working hard to bring about changes in Northampton County. We're going to make Northampton County, we're going to move Northampton County from a tier 1 county to a tier 2 county. That's our goal. We're going to move it from a tier 1 county to a tier 2 county because we have what it takes to do it, and we are going to do it. School system, we need your board. We need to move our county from a tier 1 county to a tier 2. And we are going to make sure that we do everything within our power to make that happen. Board members, I can't thank you all enough for all the hard work that you're doing. I want to thank you for how you're working with your chairman, with our county manager, to make sure that these changes take place in Northampton County. Citizens, we can do it if we all work together. We can do it if we hold hands and do this together. The boy was lost in the wheat field. They searched all day and all night and couldn't find him. And somebody suggested just one simple thing. Why don't we join hands and go through the wheat field together? And when they joined hands and went through the wheat field together, they were able to find the lost child. I'm telling you, when we join hands in Northampton County, doesn't make any difference what race you are. Doesn't make any difference where you live at in the county, east or west. And we got to get out of the east-west stuff. We got to do what's best for the entire county. And we know that we can do it. Let's move Northampton. Tier 1 to tier 2. mean that we are moving up. We're rising. We're not there anymore. We're going up. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that you're doing in North Anthony County. And we're going to have for you some more good news. As soon as the companies and so forth will let us do it, we have some more good news for the citizens of this county that we can move our county. Thank you tonight for listening to me. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but thank you for listening. We're going to do it. We got to do it. It's a must we do it. We cannot stay stagnant. We got to move our county. Thank you. At this time, I'll have a motion from one of our commissioners that we will go into closed session.
Chairman Tyne, I make a motion that we enter into closed session regarding GS 143-318, 11A6 personnel, A3 attorney-client privilege, and A4 EDC report.
Okay, you've heard the motion that we're going to closed session. Could I get a second? Second. Second by Mr. Edwards. We're going to closed session. Any question, any discussion? If not, all in favor, let nobody you sign aye.
Aye.
I vote for.
I Faulkner.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you all so much for all that you do. We're going to ask that first on our closed session will be a report from